Straight all day.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called work on your game. My name is Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today we are getting into part two of the mini series here, why it will be a while before I write another book. I explained to you the background of this in yesterday's episode. Today I'm going to finish out the points that explains why I'm focusing on other things business-wise. Not that I'm going to stop giving people the game, I'm just doing it in a different way. But before I get into all of that, let me remind everybody, daily motivation text. I send this out for free every morning to everyone who's in my text community. You want to receive this message, so here's what you need to do. Text me right now at this number, 305-384-6894. And every morning when the daily motivation goes out, because you're a member of my texting community, you'll receive that message. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. That is something that I will be doing for the foreseeable future. I'll be doing a lot of that, so you need to be a member of that university. All you got to do to join it is go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. That's where you can take your next step in your work on your game journey and get in the game directly from me as you need to be getting it moving forward. Now, let's get right into our points here so we don't have to give too much intro. I already gave it to you yesterday. Point number 4, why it'll be a while before I write more books. I started writing books because my books were based on content that I had already created, and because I have a gift for creating a large amount of content relatively easy. I can create a lot of content in a relatively short period of time. So it's a skill that I have cultivated over time of creating the content and then turning the content into things such as books or even this show right here. My books are based on content that I was already putting out. And writing the books was a way of establishing my name and my brand presence, which I had done. That worked. But at the same time, my goals, I shouldn't even say but, I say and, over time, my goals have evolved. And when it comes to building my name and building my business, my focus is really on helping people get a transformation in their lives and in their businesses. And what I realized is that a book is not enough to help people achieve that outcome. A book is not enough to help you get a transformation. People don't transform because they read a book. Not that books are not good. I know all of my books are good, and I've read plenty of books that are great books. People don't transform because they read a book. Now, you can get good insight from a book. You can get a good idea from a book. You can be inspired and motivated and activated on some levels from a book. But if you're going to make a real change in your life, you're going to need more than the 100 pages or the 300 pages of a book. You're going to need to do a little bit more than that. In my experience, when people buy and read books, or at least they claim to have read a book, the book gives them just enough validation and information that the reader can feel like they're doing something while remaining in the same place. And this is the challenge with books. So this is something that someone like myself, who's an author of many books, when I'm really trying to help people transform, I'm really trying to help people make real change in their lives, if all I'm giving you is a book, and then you're reading it, and I'm seeing what people are doing with the book. They'll read it and say, that book was great. I got some good information, inspiration. It motivated me. It gave me some good ideas, etc., etc. And then I'm looking at this person, and 6 months go by or 2 years go by, and the person is still doing pretty much the same stuff they were doing before they read my book. Even though they complimented the book and said they got good stuff out of it, but nothing really has changed about you. Now I'm looking at it and saying, okay, well, clearly, if they got something valuable out of the book, it's not that the book failed, it's just that a book is not enough. That's the conclusion that I've come to. A book is not enough. And this is why you'll notice that a lot of people who write books, including myself, but many others these days, if I was to write a book today, one of the things that I would do with that book is the point of the book for me internally would be to get you to read the book and understand what you need enough that you be wanting the next step. But the book is not going to be the last thing that you do. The next step is going to be whatever comes after the book, which means, all right, now that you read my book, it's basically greasing the skids and whetting your appetite. It's like an appetizer for you getting the main course, which is you getting into my program or my mastermind or my No, whatever it is that I have going on, whatever event I'm about to do, the book is just setting you up to want to come deeper into my world. That's the purpose of the book. So what I decided was that instead of writing another book to get you to there, why not just bring you straight there? We don't need to do the extra. All right, sometimes you go to a restaurant and you order appetizers because you might be really hungry and you just want something to eat real quick before the main course comes out. But sometimes you don't want the appetizer. You're like, no, I don't want none of the appetizers. Let's go straight to the main course. That's what I'm doing here. What we're doing now is I want to send you straight to the main course. The main course is coming into Work on Your Game University. I don't want to give you an appetizer. I don't want to take away any of your appetite. I want you to go straight to the main course of Work on Your Game University. And this is what people do with books. This is what I do with books. Is I'm whetting your appetite to come to the further thing, but let's forget about the whetting your appetite. Let's just go straight to it. Let's just get straight into it. That's what I want to do right now. And again, it's not that I would never write another book. Again, I gave you the asterisk here in yesterday's episode and today's episode as to when I might write another book. But the way that I'm doing things right now is bringing people straight to the university. This works. So I don't need to write the book. I don't need the book in the way. I don't need you to climb all the rungs of the ladder. Let's just go straight to the roof. All right, I got a way of us getting there. So in my experience, again, the book is not enough. So I'm doing my part by not contributing to the masturbation of information of just telling you to read the book and get information that's not really going to help you change that much anyway, but it might make you feel like you did something. Instead, let's just go straight to the university so you can actually feel like you did something and you are actually doing something, both at the same time. Point number 5. Today's topic, once again, is why it will be a long time before I write another book. This does not mean that books are not a good thing. Okay, I got books. You see the books behind me on the shelf, and there's some books that you can't see behind me that are other people's books that I am either reading or going to read. And I'm not saying that you should not read books. I still read books. I probably read more books than most people. However, when I need to make a serious change, I'm looking for a serious transformation for myself, I know that the book is not going to be enough for me. So, for example, I have books on my shelf right now that I'm going to read that are written by people that I know if I really want to get the real meat and potatoes of what that author has to offer is not the book that I need to read. I need to join their program. It's going to cost me probably some 5-figure level investment in order to get their real program and get the real thing that I need to get from them. I know the book is not going to be enough, because if I can get everything I needed from them from the book, then why do they have a $10,000 program if I can get everything from a $25 book? I mean, again, this is just simple math, folks. This is just simple inductive reasoning. If I can get everything from the book, why do they have a bigger program? It doesn't make any sense. If you get everything from my book, why do I have a bigger program? Right? It just doesn't add up. So I know. And that's why sometimes I'll get somebody's book and I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to join this person's program, I might not even read the book. I might just pass on the book and let's just go straight to the program. Like I don't even need to, let's not even waste time reading this book. Let's just go straight to the program. All right. So even though I do still read books, okay, I know a book is not enough. I know it's just a stepping stone towards what I really need to do. Or it's just planting the seed for what I really need to do. So if I already know I need to do it, then I might read the book just for entertainment purposes or to get myself ready for what I'm about to invest in. Or if I don't know that you have another thing, maybe reading the book is just a way to get my attention so you can tell me that there's another thing. But see, I'm already in the game, so I know how the game works. So I don't need you to whet my appetite with a $25 book. Let's just go straight to it. Let's just get straight to the main thing. And then, again, this is just my way of thinking about it. You don't have to think this way. You can still read people's books if you want to, if you think you're going to get what you need from the book. I'm telling you here that you're not. Again, how many books have completely led to a transformation in your life? Maybe 1 or 2, but most of them probably not. And again, look at your life and tell me if I'm right and tell me if I'm wrong. And the reason why most people don't change in life is because the furthest that they go when it comes to investing in their development is reading a book. The book is not enough. You need to do more than just read a book. Because if all you had to do was read a book, then all you need to do is get yourself a library card. You go to the library, read all the books you want for free. Your whole life would transform. You had to spend no money. But why doesn't anybody do it? Because it's not enough. You need more than that. And this is why people have bigger programs and places where you get held accountable and you get full game plans and full strategies and direct communication. Because if it was just the book, again, we would just stop at books and I would just write 1,000 books. I have enough material to write 1,000 books, literally 1,000, but I'm not going to do that, at least as of today. This is all subject to change, by the way, pending business opportunities. So if I'm looking for a serious transformation, I know I'm going to have to do more than just read the book. As I just said, it's just a stepping stone towards the real thing. And what I really need is going to be a bigger investment in time, attention, energy, money, and focus than just reading your 150-page thing. No book's going to take my business to the next level. No book's going to get me into amazing shape. No book's going to change who I am fundamentally as a person. But there are investments I can make that will get me towards those outcomes. And to think that doing so by reading a $15 book is going to do it, that's foolish. And any of you who's thinking that, perish the thought. Point number 6. Today's topic, once again, is part 2 of 2, why it'll be a while before I write another book. I'm going to let you all in on a secret about the thought leadership world. If you didn't know this, you will know it now. Most thought leaders who know what they're doing around marketing, they write a book as a lead magnet to move you towards their paid programs. If you didn't know that, now you know. That's all a book is. It's just a lead magnet to get you excited to know that you need something else in addition to what they told you in the book. And the whole real goal is to get you into the paid program where you're going to spend the real money. It's not the book money. Especially if someone's writing a book with a traditional publisher, they're not making much money off that book. Now, they might hype it up and promote it and market it, and they're taking pictures with it and telling you how excited they are because they hit this number on Amazon or they made whatever bestseller list. If they wrote a book with a traditional publisher, most authors are not making much money off that book. The publishing industry, the publishers are making the majority of the money. The booksellers are making the money. Amazon's making the money. The writer of the book, the author, is not making that much money off their book. Most authors do not make much money off of their books. The book is, again, it's a stepping stone to move you, the reader, to the next step in their world where they do actually make the money. And that would be their mastermind, retreat, coaching program, etc., etc. Okay, their version of Work on Your Game University, that's where the money gets made. So if you didn't know that, now you know. All right, so the book's goal is to get you your appetite up, wet for the next step. Again, their program is going to be much bigger than the $20 that you paid for the book. And there's nothing wrong with this. I'm not knocking this hustle. This is just simple business. This is how business works. And I know a whole lot of authors. I know a lot of people with paid programs, high-level programs, and this is what they do with their books. This is the reason why people write books. This is why so many people have a book. At least those, again, people who know what they're doing, this is the reason why they write their books, to get you ready for the bigger thing. And then there are people who write books because they don't understand this part yet, so they just write it to write it. And hopefully the book is actually good. And a lot of my books are very good. All of my books are very good. And this is why I have so many. This is why I'll sell you more than one when you come into my funnels. And I'm not knocking anybody's hustle when they do that. But here's something else that I also know. You can move people towards the bigger investment program without having them read your book first. Again, because this is what I'm doing now. And I've invested in programs that show me how to do this. I'm in people's programs as we speak today who do not have books, but they still got me to get into their programs. They don't have a book to get me excited for their program. They just have the program. And they're like, look, let's just go straight to the program. And they sell you just the program. They don't sell you a book first and then say, all right, now get my cheap course, then get the little bit more expensive course, now get the big course. They don't make you climb all those steps. They say, let's just go to the top step right now. All right, here it is. You want to get into this program? Here it is right here. And they go straight to it. And folks, you can do things this way. You don't have to do things in the long way. You can do it the short way. And inside of Work on Your Game University, by the way, I am in the process right now, as you listen to this, I'm in the process of taking a group of people through this exact process of how do we get straight to the top step where you're offering your high-priced, high-ticket thing. That's a high-price, high-ticket means thing that costs a lot of money. We're talking 5 figures and up investment for your, at least 4 figures, 4 or 5 figures and up investment into your program. How do we get people into this immediately? How do we start doing this right now? I'm teaching people how to do this. So if you're not a member of Work on Your Game University, if you haven't looked at Work on Your Game University, you hear me talking about it all the time, but it's gone in one ear and out the other. All right, listen to this. If you have not listened to anything else, I've invested in programs that show you how to do this. I'm doing it right now. You do not need to write a book to move people towards the bigger program. If you want to write a book, that's fine. If you already got a book, that's fine. You got 1,000 books, that's fine as well. There's nothing wrong with doing it if that's the way you want to do it, but you don't need to do it that way. Okay, it's a simple practicality. If you're looking to get to the money as quickly as possible, there is a way to do it faster than you write a book and then you make a little course and you got to make another thing and you got all these little things that people had to go through to get to the big thing. What if you could just get a bunch of people who want to come straight to the big thing? Would you do that? Would you be open to that? Writing a book takes a long time, and writing a book is a lot of work. So what if you could skip that step and still get the same outcome and make more money relative to the time that you invest? But would you be willing to do that? Would you be open to that possibility? If so, I'm gonna tell you where to go in a minute, but let me recap these points here. Part 2 of 2. Why it'd be a while before I write another book. Number 4, I started writing books because my books were based on content that I had already created. And I have a gift for creating a lot of content relatively easily. But at the same time, my focus is on helping people get a transformation, and I realize that a book alone is not helping people get a transformation. It makes you feel good, but it doesn't help you get a transformation. It's basically masturbation of information. Good information, but it's still masturbation because you're not actually moving forward. You're not going anywhere. Number 5, this does not mean that books are not a good thing and that you shouldn't read books. I still read books, and maybe sometime in the future I will write a book. But to think that to get the transformation you're going to need is going to come from a $15 book is absolutely not the case. This is why people have $15,000 programs, because the $15 book is, again, just an appetizer. Number 6, let you all in on the secret. Most thought leaders who write books regarding, if they know what they're doing marketing wise, they write their books as simply a lead magnet to get you into their bigger program. So you pay $25 for the book, then they're going to charge you $25,000 for the bigger program. You can go straight to the program. If you want to be in this space, you can send people straight to the $25,000 program. They don't have to read your book first. And again, writing a book takes a lot of time relative to the return on investment you get from the book. The book may not even be worth the time you spend writing it, especially if you don't know how you're going to sell it or how you're going to market the book. You may not even need the book. You can still get people to spend big money on your big program without having them go through the foreplay of all these extra steps in your business. And again, this is something that the person you're listening to, has come to understand. This is why I'm not going to be writing many more books, at least in the foreseeable future. Again, with an asterisk, if someone offers me a great deal, maybe I'll write one. The whole point is, I know I can get people straight into Work on Your Game University. You don't have to read any of my books first. If you want to read them, I'll sell them to you. But if you're ready to make that big step, you're ready to make that big move and ready to make big transformation in your life right now, and you don't need to read a book first, you're ready to go right to it, you can go right to it. Let me tell you how to do it. First of all, text me so you can get my daily motivation every day free of charge. My number is 305-384-6894. Secondly, here's what you do. You're ready to take the big step and you're ready to just jump to the roof. You don't need to climb the ladder. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. You'll see everything you need to see in order for you to take the next step, and let's get moving and get you to where you want to get to where you can turn around and you can do this for your audience and help them get a real transformation. It's not going to come from your 200-page book. It's going to come from them getting into your program, and let's learn how you can get people straight into your program and charge what you want to charge with very little overhead. Books have a lot of overhead. Programs do not. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.